I'm edging a little bit slightly towards Adesanya. I think he's a better striker, but can't rule Costa out. He's got a lot of power. He can take a punch. He's got good cardio. I think he's massive for the weight. He's huge now. I don't know how he's making middleweight now for much longer. I've seen him talking about going up to light heavy, so I don't know whether he's looking on 1 or 2 more fights at middle and then just jacking it like I sort of did. So we'll see what happens with that. I've got Adesanya by a little bit at the moment, but I wouldn't count too much on that fight.
Costa, Whitaker, who we think are the greatest fighters in the world today, how are they not able to compete with this guy when Anderson can and go fight 3 rounds with him? It shows you how special Silva is, but also maybe is he still improving at such an alarming rate that now he's knocking these guys out that are the best fighters in the world in under 10 minutes? Like, I don't know how he's doing it, man. It's crazy.
I feel like Adesanya or Costa's got in Adesanya's head a little bit, because it's Adesanya constantly doing the attacking, and Costa's just sitting there being fucking kind of chill for the most part, and it's Adesanya that's attacking him. And I don't know, maybe he's just trying to hype the fight, or maybe that's a little insecurity. I'm not sure which one it is, but I've got to choose my words carefully, because I'm watching the fights with his manager and my manager Audie on Saturday night. So do you know what I mean? So I better watch what I say, because he'll be like, what the Mike, you went on your podcast and picked against my guy? You. So yeah, I got Adesanya winning. No, I don't know. It's a close fight though. It's a close fight. But the thing is, I was saying before, Costa, I think he lands 8 punches per minute, right? Really? And with an accuracy of something, I forget what it is. I think I took a screenshot of it because I wanted to mention it. I think his accuracy is something like 76% accuracy, whereas on the flip side, Adesanya only lands 4 punches a minute at a much less lower accuracy. You know, so this notion that, you know, Costa's just this barbarian that just swings and Adesanya's the sniper. If you look at the numbers, that doesn't stack up. You know, it's that's not the narrative at all.
Paulo Costa is as good as they come, and Izzy made him look like a ranked amateur. It was a pro versus an amateur out there. It was not competitive. There was no second of that fight where you thought Costa had a chance.
Paulo Costa is not we got to quit saying he's a knockout artist. He's not a knockout artist. Francis Ngannou is a knockout artist. Paulo Costa is a guy who is very powerful and uses volumes of punches to get his opponents out of there. For Paulo, I think he can't depend on going 5 rounds. I think if he's looking to get a win, it has to be caution to the win, and you got to get him out of there in the first two rounds. If you don't, it's gonna be a long night for Paulo Costa. When I look at their strength of schedule, Israel checks all boxes. He's fought all comers. He's passed the test. Paulo Costa, to me, hasn't passed that test. His toughest fight was Yoel Romero. That fight was 5 rounds. I didn't see him winning that fight. I see him having a tough time cornering Israel. I see him having a tough time landing punches. It's the perfect fight for Stylebender. I think Stylebender does get the finish. I'll say under 3 rounds, Stylebender via KO.
The thing with Paulo Costa, I mean, he's, you know, we've said it before, he's a power puncher. That's what he does. He comes wading forward. He tries to make the octagon as small as possible, and he tries to land, as many powerful punches as he can to knock you out. These very, I mean, it's a very straightforward game plan. And if you look at the things that Adesanya's got going for him, he has to use all of his tools to just keep Paulo Costa at bay. He's going to have to use his reach to keep him on the end of his strikes. He's going to have to use his footwork to keep away from him and to keep the octagon moving. I mean, you know, that octagon can get closed down very, very quickly with someone like Costa. Adesanya's got to be the one taking the initiative, getting on his bike, moving around the edge and picking him off at a distance, and using that striking pedigree, that prowess, and that martial arts understanding that he's got over Costa to really punish him. And you know, this is new ground for Costa as well. It's how does he deal with the pacing over 5 rounds? You know, what does he decide to do in those first 2 rounds when he's, you know, if he's swinging and missing at Paulo Costa, that is energy that he's just burning. So I think this is going to be a real test for Paulo Costa to pace himself and to manage his striking power. Because at the moment, from what I've seen, it's Adesanya that's got the control in the striking range, at least technically.
Paulo Costa, who, by the way, allow me to tell you this, don't judge a book by his cover, right? He's a real handsome guy, but he's a big and strong guy, and he's a real human being. You ever visit with him, he's a very calm, a very nice, a very thoughtful, he's a caring, all these all these buzzwords, but they're true. He's a sweet guy. He's a really great guy. He put out a tweet. Kelvin got picked up for this. Paulo Costa put out a tweet. And he had two problems. He had 2 complaints. First, he said, I never signed to fight Cannonier, but the UFC announced I was. That bothered him.
It's a joke.
What's a joke? He's making a joke, or it's a joke that he said that?
It's a joke that he said that. He was drunk before a title fight. He's out of his mind. Look, man, this dude, Paulo Costa, he's gonna want to kill me when he sees me. Because this dude says, he legitimately says some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know who is advising this young man. He gonna say he drunk. Remember, he said some stuff the first time after the fight. He said some crazy stuff. Right? Give me a title fight. Why would we ever
sign the contract?
Why would you get? Come on, man. Come on, Paulo Costa, sign the contract for what? We just saw what happened when he signed the contract. Now you talking about being drunk? This is how. Hey, Ariel, this is the stuff you say the day after. Oh man, I got drunk because you didn't have time to think up an excuse. It took you 6 months to come up with you got drunk. You drank too much wine.
That's crazy.
Who told him to put that out there, man?
What about, like, can you take NyQuil or something like that if you can't go to sleep?
You don't want to do that and make you drowsy.
Okay.
Just lay down in bed. Lay down in bed. You just can sleep in the day if you need to. You can't sleep at night, sure, so sleep all day. It don't matter. You can just sleep. Like, Eric, you are up from the morning until you don't go to the hotel, to the venue when if it's a 10 o'clock fight night, you don't go on the East Coast, you don't go to the venue till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but this one was Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but still, in Vegas,
yeah,
the pay-per-view starts at 7. You don't go to the venue till 6.
Right.
He's in the main event. So this dude didn't leave the hotel till probably, 4 o'clock in the morning the next day. He's out of his mind, man. Somebody needs to slap Paulo Costa. Somebody needs to slap Paulo Costa and be like, yo, stay away from the microphones, dude.
Could you imagine him drinking a full bottle of wine?
Full bottle of wine.